Hold on to your coin albums and check your pocket change right now, because today we are diving into 2 wheat pennies that have shocked collectors, broken auction records, and turned ordinary 1-cent pieces into 4, 5, and even 6-figure treasures. These are not just coins. They are wartime survivors, minting mistakes, and hidden legends of American history. In this Coins Numismatic Series episode, we uncover the rare and most valuable 1944 and 1945 wheat pennies, revealing how a simple copper cent can become a life-changing discovery. The 1944 wheat penny 1-cent coin. The 1944 wheat penny stands as one of the most fascinating issues in the entire Lincoln Cent series, born directly out of World War II necessity. To understand why this coin is so important, we must go back to 1943. During that year, copper was desperately needed for wartime ammunition and military equipment. The United States Mint struck pennies in zinc-coated steel instead of the traditional bronze alloy. Those 1943 steel cents became instantly recognizable for their silver-gray appearance. But in 1944, the mint returned to a copper-based composition. However, this was not simply a return to pre-war metal. The 1944 wheat penny was struck using recycled shell casings from military training ranges. The bronze alloy was composed primarily of reclaimed wartime brass, making these coins literal pieces of battlefield history transformed into everyday currency. The design of the 1944 wheat penny remains the iconic work of Victor David Brenner. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln faces right, calm and resolute. Above him, the motto "I in God we trust" arches along the rim. To the left, liberty is boldly struck. To the right, the date 1944 appears, with or without a mint mark depending on the facility of origin. Philadelphia issues carry no mint mark, while Denver features a small D and San Francisco an S beneath the date. The reverse displays the classic twin wheat ears framing the denomination 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum centered at the top. By 1944, this design had been in use for 35 years and had become deeply associated with American resilience and identity. In terms of mintage, the 1944 wheat penny was produced in enormous numbers. Philadelphia struck over 1.4 billion pieces, Denver over 430 million, and San Francisco over 280 million. Combined, that makes the 1944 issue one of the highest mintage wheat cents of the entire series. In ordinary circulated grades, these coins are extremely common and often worth only a small premium over face value. But here is where the story turns extraordinary. The 1944 wheat penny is famous for one of the most dramatic mint errors in American numismatics history, the 1944 steel cent. A small number of leftover steel planchets from 1943 were accidentally fed into the coin presses in 1944. The result was a 1944 dated penny struck in steel instead of bronze. These coins look like the 1943 steel cents, but bear the date 1944. Genuine 1944 steel cents are incredibly rare. Only a handful are known from each mint. When authenticated, these coins have sold for staggering amounts. Examples have reached well into the 6-figure range at auction, making them some of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever produced. Because of this, counterfeit and altered examples are common, often created by copperplating steel cents or altering the date on a 1943 coin. Serious collectors rely on professional authentication to confirm legitimacy. Another famous rarity is the 1944 D struck on a steel planchet. This version is even scarcer than the Philadelphia issue. The rarity and wartime context create a powerful combination that fuels intense collector demand. Beyond steel errors, the 1944 wheat penny also features transitional errors in the opposite direction. A few bronze planchets from 1944 were mistakenly used in 1943, and vice versa, creating one of the most studied error transitions in U.S. coinage. The 1944 bronze is standard, but off-metal errors, such as those struck on experimental planchets, add another dimension of rarity. Condition also plays a major role in value. While circulated examples are common, uncirculated coins with full original red luster are increasingly difficult to find. Over decades, many were spent, mishandled, or stored improperly. In mint state grades of MS65 red or higher, values rise significantly. Exceptional examples graded MS67 red can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on eye appeal and population reports. Strike quality varies by mint. San Francisco coins sometimes exhibit weaker strikes, particularly in the wheat lines on the reverse. Sharp detail in the wheat kernels and strong luster enhance desirability. Collectors assembling registry sets compete fiercely for top population pieces, pushing prices upward for coins at the highest certified grades. The 1944 wheat penny represents more than just a coin. It represents transformation. Wartime metal turned into peacetime currency, a symbol of national sacrifice repurposed into daily commerce. For collectors, it offers accessibility in circulated form and breathtaking rarity in rare varieties. It is a coin that bridges commonality and legend. The 1945 wheat penny 1-cent coin. The 1945 wheat penny carries the final full year of World War II within its date. By this time, Allied forces were advancing in Europe and the Pacific, and America's industrial machine was operating at maximum capacity. The penny struck in 1945 circulated during a year that would witness the end of global conflict and the beginning of a new world order. The design remains the same Brenner portrait and wheat reverse that had defined American 1-cent coinage since 1909. Lincoln's profile remains dignified and steady, symbolizing unity during uncertain times. In God We Trust crowns the obverse, liberty anchors the left field, and the date 1945 sits to the right, accompanied by mint marks D or S for Denver and San Francisco, while Philadelphia once again bears no mint mark. The composition of the 1945 wheat penny returned fully to the bronze alloy derived from recycled wartime materials. Copper was becoming more available as the war drew to a close, but the legacy of shell casing metal remained embedded in these coins. Mintage figures for 1945 were again massive. Philadelphia produced over 1 billion coins, Denver over 266 million, and San Francisco over 181 million. Like the 1944 issue, circulated examples are common and affordable. However, scarcity emerges in higher grades and in specific era varieties. One of the most sought-after varieties in 1945 is the double die obverse, particularly on the Philadelphia issue. While not as dramatic as the famous 1955 double die, certain 1945 double dies show noticeable doubling in the date and lettering. These varieties attract strong interest from era collectors and can command substantial premiums depending on the strength of doubling and condition. Repunched mint marks are another area of fascination, especially for 1945 D and 1945 S coins. Under magnification, collectors sometimes discover secondary impressions of the mint mark beneath the primary D or S, evidence of the manual mint mark punching process used at the time. Clear RPM varieties can add meaningful value to an otherwise common coin. Die cracks, cuds, and lamination errors are also present in 1945 cents. Wartime production pressures sometimes led to extended die use, resulting in late die state coins with heavy flow lines and surface distortions. These characteristics provide insight into mint operations during one of the busiest periods in U.S. history. In terms of market value, circulated 1945 wheat pennies typically range from a few cents to $1 depending on condition. However, mint state red examples tell a different story. In grades of MS66 or MS67 red, prices can climb into the high hundreds or more, especially for coins with exceptional luster and minimal contact marks. The San Francisco issue is often more challenging to locate in gem condition due to strike softness. Strongly struck examples with crisp wheat detail and blazing red color are especially desirable. Denver coins, while plentiful, also become condition rarities at the highest certified grades. Collector interest in the 1945 wheat penny is fueled by its historical timing. These coins were in pockets when victory was declared in Europe and Japan. They were present at ticker tape parades, war bond drives, and homecoming celebrations. Holding one today connects collectors directly to that transformative year. The 1945 issue may not boast the dramatic steel era fame of 1944, but its combination of double dies, mint mark varieties, high-grade scarcity, and profound historical context ensures enduring demand. For beginners, it offers affordability and accessibility. For advanced collectors, it presents the challenge of locating pristine, fully read, sharply struck examples or scarce variety errors. Together, the 1944 and 1945 wheat pennies form a powerful wartime pair. One represents the dramatic transition from steel back to bronze and the rarest off-metal mistakes in Lincoln cent history. The other captures the closing chapter of global conflict and the subtle varieties that reward careful study. Both prove that even the smallest denomination in American coinage can carry immense historical weight and surprising financial potential. These coins are more than 1 cent. They are stories of industry, resilience, error, and opportunity. And somewhere out there, one could still be waiting to be discovered. 1946 Wheat Penny 1 cent coin. The 1946 wheat penny emerges in a period of profound change in America. World War II had ended just a year earlier, and the nation was adjusting to peacetime, with soldiers returning home and the economy shifting from war production to consumer goods. This coin embodies that transition, serving as everyday currency while quietly carrying the legacy of wartime medals. Victor David Brenner's iconic Lincoln portrait continues to grace the obverse. Lincoln faces right with his expression calm, yet resolute, a symbol of unity and perseverance. "In God We Trust" is inscribed above his head, liberty to the left, and the date 1946 to the right. For the Denver Mint issues, a small D appears beneath the date, while San Francisco coins bear an S. Philadelphia coins, as always, carry no mint mark, a subtle but important distinction for collectors. The reverse retains the classic wheat cent design. Twin ears of wheat frame the denomination 1 cent and the inscription United States of America, with E pluribus unum centered at the top. By 1946, this design was a familiar part of American life, circulating through grocery stores, theaters, banks, and post offices. The wheat ears not only represented agricultural strength, but also evoked continuity and stability in a nation still recovering from wartime disruption. The composition returned fully to the bronze alloy, a mixture of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This gives the coin its characteristic reddish-brown color, which becomes a crucial factor in collector valuation. Freshly minted coins often display a bright red luster, but circulation and environmental exposure gradually darken surfaces to red-brown or brown tones. Numismatists classify these as RD, RB, and BN, and the color can dramatically affect market value, especially in uncirculated coins. Mintage figures for 1946 were substantial, but slightly lower than the massive wartime peaks. Philadelphia struck approximately 1.35 billion coins, Denver produced around 187 million, and San Francisco roughly 78 million. These numbers make 1946 pennies common in circulated grades, yet high-grade mint state examples are significantly more scarce. Coins preserved in MS-65 red or higher are increasingly difficult to find, particularly from the San Francisco Mint, known for softer strikes during this period. Error coins add an extra layer of fascination. While 1946 lacks a singularly famous steel or off-metal variety like 1944, subtle doubled dies, die cracks, die chips, and repunched mint marks exist. RPM collectors focus on the D and S mint marks, examining minute impressions and secondary punches. Die cracks sometimes extend across the wheat ears or into the fields, creating unique pieces that fetch premiums. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and lamination errors occasionally appear, giving visual appeal and rarity to otherwise ordinary coins. Market value for 1946 wheat pennies is highly condition-dependent. In circulated grades, coins are generally worth only a few cents above face value, making them accessible to new collectors. However, uncirculated red examples in MS-65 or higher can command prices from $20 to $100, while superb MS-66 or MS-67 red coins, particularly from the Denver or San Francisco mints, can reach several $100s. Eye appeal, luster, and strike quality heavily influence premiums, with collectors willing to pay more for coins that combine a sharp strike with vibrant color. Collector interest is fueled by both historical context and numismatic challenge. The 1946 wheat penny represents post-war America's return to economic growth and industrial stability. It is widely available for beginners, yet offers scarcity in high-grade examples or rare varieties for advanced collectors. Registry set enthusiasts value it for completing chronological Lincoln cent collections, while error collectors prize the subtle die and mintmark variations. 1947 wheat penny 1 cent coin. The 1947 wheat penny represents another year of post-war America, now moving steadily into prosperity. Soldiers were returning from occupation duty overseas, industry was booming, and everyday life in the United States was changing rapidly. In coinage, the Lincoln wheat design remained a consistent touchstone, symbolizing continuity, resilience, and historical legacy. The obverse features the enduring Lincoln portrait by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln faces right, dignified and composed. In God we trust arcs above his head. Liberty sits to the left, and the date 1947 appears to the right. Denver Mint issues carry a small D beneath the date. San Francisco coins an S, and Philadelphia coins again have no mint mark. The date placement and mint mark identification are crucial for collectors because the subtle differences impact both rarity and value. The reverse shows the familiar twin wheat stalks, framing the denomination 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum at the top. By 1947, the design was deeply embedded in American consciousness, circulating widely while retaining its artistic charm. The wheat stalks, simple yet evocative, symbolize the nation's continued prosperity and reliance on agricultural strength even as industrialization accelerated. The coin composition remained bronze, 95% copper, and 5% tin and zinc. The reddish hue of freshly minted coins makes high-grade examples visually striking. Collectors differentiate RD, red, RB, red-brown, and BN, brown, coins, and even small differences in surface quality can mean significant differences in market value. Mintage for 1947 was slightly lower than 1946, reflecting stabilization in post-war coin production. Philadelphia produced roughly 1.1 billion coins, Denver approximately 210 million, and San Francisco around 97 million. This makes 1947 pennies common in circulated condition, but, like the previous year, high-grade uncirculated examples are much more scarce and valuable. 1947 features interesting error varieties that attract collector attention. Doubled dies, particularly subtle ones affecting the date and lettering, appear occasionally, though none reach the dramatic status of mid-century issues like the 1955 doubled die. Repunched mint marks on 1947, D and 1947. S coins are also of interest. Collectors examine these under magnification to identify secondary impressions and faint doubling. Die cracks, lamination errors, clipped planchets, and off-center strikes are present, adding visual intrigue and rarity to certain examples. Market value for 1947 wheat pennies depends heavily on condition and mint. Circulated coins typically trade for a few cents over face value, but uncirculated red examples are highly desirable. MS-65 red coins from Philadelphia or Denver can reach $20 to $50, while superior MS-66 or MS-67 red coins, especially from the San Francisco Mint, may sell for hundreds. Collectors also pay attention to eye appeal and strike quality, with fully struck wheat ears and bold lettering fetching premiums. Collector interest is strong due to both historical context and numismatic challenges. The 1947 wheat penny represents the stabilization and prosperity of post-war America. Beginners can find affordable examples, while advanced collectors seek high-grade coins or subtle varieties to complete registry sets. Error collectors focus on doubled dies, RPMs, and minor striking anomalies, ensuring that even a common date coin offers excitement and discovery. Together, the 1946 and 1947 wheat pennies illustrate the evolution of the Lincoln cent in the immediate post-war era. They combine historical significance, subtle variations, and opportunities for high-grade and error collecting, demonstrating that even small cents can carry tremendous historical and financial weight. From the recycled wartime metals of 1946 to the continued precision and artistry of 1947, these coins connect collectors directly to a transformative era in American history, while still offering the thrill of potential discovery hidden in ordinary circulation. 1952, D-Wheat Penny 1-cent coin. The 1952 D-Wheat Penny was struck at the Denver Mint, a facility with a long history of producing large-scale coinage for the western United States. This coin represents a post-war America that was expanding economically, industrially, and socially. The population was growing, automobiles were becoming ubiquitous, and the nation was entering a period of prosperity that would define the 1950s. The coins of this era circulated widely in daily commerce, quietly bearing witness to these changes. The obverse features the classic Victor David Brenner portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right. In God We Trust arches along the rim above Lincoln's head. Liberty is placed to the left, and the date 1952 is to the right, with the small d mint mark beneath it signifying Denver. This small detail carries major significance for collectors, as mint marks influence rarity, value, and desirability. Philadelphia coins from the same year bear no mint mark, while San Francisco coins carry an S. The 1952 D is often noted for its slightly weaker strikes compared to Philadelphia examples, which affects detail in Lincoln's hair, jawline, and beard. Sharp strikes are especially prized among collectors seeking top-grade specimens. The reverse continues the familiar wheat cent design. Twin wheat stalks frame the denomination 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum centered at the top. Denver strikes from this period sometimes exhibit softer wheat detail, particularly along the inner stalk lines. Coins with well-defined kernels and crisp lettering are highly desirable, commanding a premium in uncirculated grades. In terms of composition, the 1952 D-Wheat Penny uses the standard post-war bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This mixture gives the coin its characteristic reddish hue when fresh from the press. Over time, circulation and oxidation produce red-brown or brown surfaces, which collectors classify as RD, RB, or BN. Surface color has a significant effect on market value, especially in mint state coins, where vibrant red luster is most sought after. The mintage for the 1952 D was extraordinarily high. Over 746 million coins were struck. Despite this large number, fully preserved, high-grade examples are considerably rarer than the sheer mintage suggests. Circulated coins are common and inexpensive, often worth only a few cents above face value. However, uncirculated examples with full red color, minimal contact marks, and strong strikes are more challenging to locate and thus highly collectible. Error coins add an exciting layer for collectors. While the 1952 D lacks headline-grabbing double dies like the famous 1955 DDO, subtle varieties exist. Repunched mint marks are occasionally found, showing faint secondary impressions of the D beneath the primary mint mark. Die cracks, die chips, and cuds sometimes appear along the rim or in the fields, producing coins with distinctive visual characteristics. Off-center strikes and clipped planchets also exist, though less frequently, adding additional collectible value. Lamination errors occasionally occur, reflecting minor flaws in the alloy or planchet during production. Market value is heavily dependent on condition. In circulated grades, the 1952 D-Wheat Penny is extremely affordable, typically worth only a few cents above face. In about uncirculated grades, prices rise slightly, and collectors might pay a few dollars for coins showing partial luster. Uncirculated red examples graded MS65 can range from $20 to $50, while MS66 or higher coins, particularly those with strong strikes and eye appeal, can reach several $100s. Color, strike quality, and surface preservation are critical determinants of value, often more than the mintage itself. Collector interest in the 1952 D-Wheat Penny is strong for several reasons. First, it is part of the beloved Wheat Cent series, which many collectors attempt to complete from 1909 through 1958. Second, it illustrates subtle differences in strikes, mint mark placement, and surface preservation between mints, offering a nuanced challenge for advanced collectors. Third, it provides an accessible entry point for beginners, with circulated examples available for a few cents, while high-grade, fully read coins reward careful searching, purchasing, or grading. The 1952 D also fits into broader registry set strategies. Advanced collectors assembling high-grade sets of Lincoln cents must locate the finest Denver Mint specimens to compete effectively. The coin's high mintage does not prevent scarcity in the top numerical grades, making it a target for collectors seeking registry accolades or investment-grade pieces. In summary, the 1952 D Wheat penny is far more than a small piece of copper in circulation. It is a product of post-war American industry, a testament to the enduring Lincoln wheat design, and a coin that offers multiple layers of interest, from everyday circulated examples to high-grade red specimens and subtle minting errors. Its combination of historical context, design appeal, and collectible rarity ensures that it remains an essential piece in any serious wheat cent collection, proving once again that even a single cent can carry extraordinary value.